I always wondered if that countdown was actually like when it says 5, are we already live? uh,
Hello, David.
Hello, Stephen. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. It's hot here. We'll talk about the weather. But
yeah,
as far as the countdown is concerned, you are live when it gets to about 3.
Yeah.
So if you started from 3, you'd know. I mean, why does it start from 5? Why have 2 seconds of silence?
I'm gonna remember that now. 3. I'm just gonna start talking. I'm just gonna move my lips and pretend that I'm muted or something.
Yeah. Well, to our early viewers, I've got a little treat because we're on relive.tv, but I think that I can play a video. Might you try?
I haven't. Your microphone today is.
All right. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's like it's like you got a compressor on there or something, and it cuts in and out.
All right. I'm going to play a vid. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're going to play a video. Take it away, Stephen Healey.
Thank you. Now, the interesting thing about that, could you hear it first of all?
Yeah.
Okay. And it wasn't too loud?
No, I mean, I think it was a little bit louder than what we are now, but it wasn't like, Right,
okay. I got that bit sorted out. But the thing is, have you got an echo?
I didn't have an echo.
Right, but you got difficulty listening to me.
You're fine now.
Right, okay.
So you're playing with some levels and some software there, I guess.
I'm playing with vMix.
Yeah, okay, all right. That was my next question.
I mean, basically, what I'm trying to do is get it so that get the optimum setting so that anybody can get vMix and just come in and play a video.
Yeah, with your microphone, it does. It sounds like when you start talking lower, it's like you disappear and then you come back, and it's like in and out. So.
Back in a moment.
Okay. He's leaving me, folks. Well, for those of you who are watching, welcome. And over here in Canada, we just celebrated 151 years, our 151st birthday here in Canada. And we were able to be out yesterday in the 34-degree heat, and it's about 30 here again today. And broadcasting your community. Love to hear your comments. Love you to join us on camera. You've got to come over, and there's a link up in the description, I believe, if I'm pointing above my little horns. Click on that link, and that will make us see your comments and your questions. And if you type guest in the comments, that'll allow us to send you a link so you can join us here on camera. And hello again, Stephen.
Hello, David.
That's the Stephen I know in here.
Okay, I've got the audio on the video sorted out now. I've got the right level for that.
Yeah,
might drop it a bit, but the mic is the problem. And when you sort of get new software, the first thing you do is to actually try it out and experiment.
Yeah.
If that fails, you go to YouTube. If that fails, you go to the manual. I'm actually going to go one better this week. I'm going to speak to Tom, who's a vMix distributor.
Okay.
And we're going to get to the bottom of this and get it sorted. So I'm looking forward to that, chatting to him on Thursday.
Oh, that's Tom.
You know the guy.
The video guy or whatever?
Yeah.
Am I thinking the same guy?
You're thinking the same guy. I'm just Tom Sinclair.
Right, that's it.
Yeah,
That video guy.
the definite video guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like meeting of two different spheres of video. They've been doing video for ages using vMix and OBS, and they're coming. Well, they've not been on Be Live yet. So I'm hoping to coax Tom on Be Live, and in return to find out a bit more about vMix.
Aha! You have a method to your madness.
I have a method, yes, indeed. And if we can get vMix working, then we can make it available to everybody, because basically we can make it easy to set up. Yeah, sort of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go live.
Right.
That's it. That's what I mean.
You want to come up with some presets for everybody, and then they can use that. Yeah, that's nice. Well, I haven't used vMix yet. I've sort of been waiting for you actually to give me some feedback, and I'm still an OBS guy, and I think I have that pretty well figured. I mean, I know OBS very well. It's just it's still I'm a man. I can't multitask very well.
Well, it's one extra piece of software to actually control while you're live.
Yeah.
I mean, OBS and vMix are brilliant if you're going live to Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or Periscope. They on your own.
Right.
Then there's no problem at all. The problem comes when you actually have more than one person on screen.
Yeah.
We were lucky there not to have any feedback. But interesting things to do. And for anybody who's watching the World Cup, I can tell you that Brazil have just beaten Mexico 2-0 and are into the quarterfinals.
Ah.
All right, we're down to the last. We're in the round of 16, or the final 16, as we say in the UK.
And that was who just finished playing?
Brazil versus Mexico.
Oh, okay. 2-0. Oh, yes, I'm seeing it here now.
Yeah. And tonight is Belgium, another of the favourites. But so many teams have gone out. Germany are out. That's it. So we're at the round of 16, and the latest result is Brazil 2, Mexico 0. And we'll know what England are going to do tomorrow night. Who knows?
I haven't watched a lot of it. I will admit, yesterday, in between my travels, made a pit stop, and their biggest big screen in Sarnia here, and was watching it. And there was an English fellow beside me, and there was I'm not sure, but he wasn't English. I couldn't quite make the accent, but there was definitely discussion happening. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, indeed.
But this is, and we can talk about this for a minute. There's like billions of dollars going on here, like as far as from a money point of view for the players and for the teams. But one thing I did really notice was during this, round of playing, something like what am I trying to say? So, like in a hockey league, for example, or whatever, you might see some sponsorship on the back of a sweater or something that. You don't see any of that in the World Cup until the game's over. Then the endorsements come out, but there is a lot of advertising around the gameplay area. So it seems to be they handle that part of it differently.
Yeah. Well, the tournament has sponsors. Right. There is big money involved with sponsoring the tournament. Mm-hmm. There are currently 300,000 fans have traveled to Russia to actually watch the games live. Wow. It's broadcast to hundreds of countries around the world.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest media draw when it takes place every 4 years. It's the biggest media draw there is.
Yeah, like this is bigger than Super Bowl. Like this is bigger. Like this is huge.
This is huge because this is actually the world taking part in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the competition starts 2 years before because you've got to qualify to be there. There's only 32 places, and at last count, over 200 countries. So you've got to whittle it down from 200 to 32.
Yeah.
So 32 tend to be the best teams in the world, and then they play out over the course of 28 days. And there are, I'm going to get it wrong, but there are 2 matches a day at the moment, as we're in the round of 16.
Yeah.
And
there's no commercials during play, right? There's no commercials during play, which I guess you really couldn't in this sport.
If you were watching at half time, 2 halves, 45 minutes each, if you're watching after 45 minutes, then you would see adverts on the commercial channels.
Right.
In the UK, the broadcasting is shared between BBC, no commercials ever, and ITV, which is a commercial channel, and they will show commercials at half time whilst the players are having a rest. So, but there is no sponsorship, as you said, during the course of the match. It all happens after the game or before the game.
Yeah.
And this is a huge coup for Russia, really, given the current state of world politics. This has been totally trouble-free. You've got fans from 32 nations, at least, all mingling on the streets of Moscow and surrounds. No trouble at all. And it's basically, it's just a breath of fresh air, really, because this is sport without any politics attached at this level.
That's fantastic to see. Like, it's a sport that so many admire, and there's a lot of emotion there for sure. I mean, even on the playing field, especially I think on the playing field, sometimes a little bit in a negative way. I mean, I saw, and I don't know who, but the guy gets knocked down by the other guy, and the opponent, puts his hand out to help the opposition up, and the guy just looks at him, and you know what he's mouthing at him, and it's like, come on, really? Like, and the guy gets up and walks away, and he's like, come on, man, like, I tried to, like, anyway, but that's
there's play acting, and in the early rounds,
no,
there is.
I mean, they play hurt.
Taking a dive is a definite football phrase, and that's diving in the penalty area to try and get a penalty.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, a lot of sportsmanship goes on, generally speaking. But in the early rounds, instead of playing football, they were playing rugby. And when there was a cross coming over from the corner flag, then as the ball came over, the strikers forwards were being wrestled to the ground. Yeah. And it wasn't football. It wasn't football. And I'm just glad those teams aren't in this round. The other thing that's happening this year, which may be of interest to you, is that this is the year of VAR. So you've got on the pitch, you've got 22 players. Yeah. You've got 1 referee. You've got 2 linesmen. And then you've got a 4th official. Yeah. So it's 4 people controlling the game. Yeah. But this year at the World Cup, they have a video assistant referee. And all the matches are being watched from Moscow live. And the video referee has got the recordings to hand, instant replay. And if there is an incident which the referee doesn't see, but the video catches, then they can ask to just have a word with the referee. And he's got to go over to the sideline, to the touchline, and he's got to watch the video and decide what happens. Now, there have been more penalties in this World Cup than any previous World Cup, because the referees had to go to the sidelines and watch it back in slow motion.
I've always had a bit of an issue with that. Hockey. Well, I'll use hockey as an example. You can question a goal. Or question a penalty, whatever, and they go to the review and they've done it. Okay. And sometimes it's changed. And I get it that the camera is more accurate than the human being. I get it. But I think that's part of a sport, though, is that our referees and our officials are human. And so there's going to be some human error, and there's some things like our eyeballs don't go quick enough from our eyeball to our brain to tell us like the camera does. So just leave it that way, because it's going to work for both sides the same, I think, unless you start going into, well, he's favoring one team, which whatever.
That's a great point. It is the same for both sides. I can't see VAR being used in the Premiership. I can't imagine Liverpool playing Manchester United and the referee stopping play for 5 minutes while he goes and watches the screen.
Yeah.
It ruins the whole rhythm of the game. And of course, the thing is that if supposing you've got a penalty that's denied, and then the teams carry on playing, and then all of a sudden, referee goes up, comes back, penalty, and he pulls the game back 6 minutes.
Yeah. I think there's a part of it too that is like, that's the call, guys. Deal with it, whether you like it or not. That's the call. Move on. And I think the referees are part of the game, and the referees can often, at least in hockey, that I've noticed, can set the pace of a game too.
That's right. So, I mean, the referees at semi-football, you can ignore a foul because you're actually playing advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
If actually stopping for foul would break up an attack, which is still ongoing, then the referee will say, okay, let's just play advantage and carry on.
Well, I hear the title of a new show.
Go on then.
Should VAR? Is that what it's called? VAR? Should VAR be used in sports?
That's true.
We should acknowledge some folks out here. Carender is here today, as always. Thanks, Carender. RJ Redden was up there as well. And for those of you watching, you're watching Broadcasting Your Community. My friend Stephen Healey and I here every Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern. Carender, let me go back here. Let's see. Is vMix free? Or how much is it, Stephen?
Right, there is a free version of vMix, but if you want to do something serious with it, then it's $60.
A whole $60?
A whole $60. That's what we're talking about. So in terms of investment, it's to actually be able to play a live video in a show for $60 in every show that you do is a no-brainer, really.
Let's talk about the price of software, because you're a developer or you're a programmer, right? So you can have an appreciation for your talents or a programmer's talents. The thing about software is there's a lot of effort and work goes into the design, the creation, everything working together, hours and hours. And I get that. But once done, it's like a photocopy thing, right? Like once it's done, you can send it out, and you send it out. And so again, I'm not taking away any value from a programmer, but if you can put it out there and put all that work into it and make a good product, but then put it out at a reasonable price, like $60, because this software does so much. You could easily say this is worth thousands of dollars if you're going to use it on a professional level. But $60 says, you know what, I can spend the $60 on that, and even if it turns out to be not so great, it was $60.
Well, that's true. But if you're talking about vMix, then we'll come to general software in a moment. Not only can you play videos, but you can do HD recording whilst you're live. So if it's just you on camera, you've got an HD recording straight away. You forget Facebook. So if you go live to Facebook, you've got their recording, but you've also got a local recording as well of high quality.
Right.
You can do split screen, you can lower thirds, you can play video, you can screen share, you can bring in images, you can do a carousel, whole range of features which we know are in also in OBS. But this stage, this is where I'm going to come to the sort of it costing money. vMix is a team of software guys. Okay,
right.
So it's basically that team created the system, and they're still employed, and they still have to be paid. In return for that, when you pay your $60, that's the beginning of it, because then you need to know how to use it.
Right.
So then you get into software houses supporting or creating and supporting people in forums or via Messenger or any number of ways. So that you've got continual support. What you're actually paying your $60 for, because you're paid again next year, is for ongoing support. So if you get a question and you need an answer to it, then they will give you that answer.
Okay. Oh, it's $60 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. You see, I mean, it's a bit like, I mean, Win Broadcaster, it was $20 a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the thing about vMix is it's got tens of thousands of users. You can start at $60. You can go up to $1,000 depending on exactly what you want to do.
Oh, okay.
If you're doing a multi-camera operation outside, then this is the sort of software you'd actually use.
Okay. All right. Now, is this can you broadcast to multiple platforms at once from the $60 version?
Yep, you can, providing you're willing to come into Facebook on RTMP.
Yeah.
Rather than through the Facebook API, you can go to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and to Periscope all at the same time.
Right. That's something I do say. I wish I love BeLive. I wish I could go to multiple platforms. I'm sure they're aware of that. But I'm also sure, I'm quite sure, I haven't read anything, but I'm guessing that that's part of the Facebook partnership deal, is that you can't do that.
Well, you would never kill the goose that laid the golden egg, would you? So that, from that point of view, it gives them a close tie-in with Facebook, and they get to find out about things faster than most people. I mean, there are 3 wishes on the BeLive platform at the moment. Or 4 wishes on the BeLive platform at the moment. I won't lose count. I'm going to stick at 4. 1 is where you have a Facebook account and a show tied to it, and you want somebody to take over hosting.
Right.
At the moment, you've got to use a personal Facebook profile to do that. And giving somebody a password, Facebook passwords, is never a good idea, no matter how well you know them.
That's right.
And the situation is that we know people pretty well, but we haven't met in real life. I mean, there are situations where we would exchange and it wouldn't be a problem, but
like you're an admin here on the Video Show Network, right? And that's you know.
Yeah, I mean that's just built up over the last couple of years, but so co-producers is the first one. Then the second thing that people ask for is an HD version of the download, because the Facebook download, repurposing it is quick and cheap, and well, it could be better. So that's the second one. Third one is the ability to play live video.
Yeah.
And the fourth one escapes me, so it's over to you while I think of what it
okay,
was.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly appreciate. I find when I download my videos from Facebook, though, it downloads really slow. I don't know why, if that's a Facebook thing or something on my end, but anything else, because I have really like kick-ass internet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's the only place when I download, it's really slow. And I in fact, it's usually at the end of my day, I click on a couple of videos and I walk away, so it's there in the morning.
Yeah.
But back to like old dial-up, right? You know.
Yeah.
But and certainly playing the live video or recorded video would be for obvious reasons that would work. The thing about BeLive, they're aware of all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
If they think it's viable and they can make it work within the guidelines, they will. I'm sure they're not sitting around collecting their money, going, "Oh, that's really cool."
No. They've got the thinking caps on all the time, and doubtless they will surprise us in the coming months. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, but talking about being social media aware brings us neatly on to Social Media Day, which was last Friday.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I was like, it was wow. It was just, I was so looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, you were on there too. I was asked to be on there. There was, there's 3 of us Canadians. I think there's 2 or 3 of us from each country. Yeah. To be able to be chosen to do that, I just thought, and some other people, of course, in my community were like, "Oh, that's really cool that you're on. What is that?" Right. So it wasn't a big deal to them, but when you're in this world, it was almost like being at the Oscars, as far as I'm concerned. To be there. But I think what I looked forward to the most was there was a lot of names I hadn't heard of yet that were representing, including right here in Canada. I'd never heard of the 2 Doyle and look at the other ones.
Doyle. Jay Lane, who's a medium,
and she's on the Video Show Network, and I know she's on your hub as well. I had heard of her, but Doyle I hadn't.
Yeah, and she's also on My Time TV with Adair.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And they're doing some big shows. In fact, Sione said the other day she'd like Jay to come to Australia from Canada and not go back. So that's that's the sort of relationship that's building up there.
But that's the thing, relationship, right? You know, and well, that's one of the things I talked about was, and Ross Brand, who did a great job filling in for Jeff Adams there. He was like, I'm really curious how you do this on a local level, because we do the live stream thing. We tend to think I want to hit the world.
Yeah.
And you do, for sure. And even when I'm in my community here doing local stuff, there are people around the world, well, like yourself and Adair, they're watching. And I can't speak for you, but I'm guessing that you're getting something out of that. To say, oh, wow, this is neat that we're interlinking our communities and our cultures, I guess is what I was.
Very much so. I mean, the show itself was a triumph for, as you say, because the number of people who are actually on there in the course of an hour and a half. I mean, the show was supposed to be an hour long. It lasted 90 minutes.
Yeah, we knew that wouldn't stay on time.
And Ross was there all the time. I mean, the thing was that to be able to say that I appeared on the show with Maury Smith. Now, you know, that's quite a conversation opener.
Yeah.
Because Maury was on there, Molly was on there, you and I were on there, Adair was on there, Raven, and I'm going to miss somebody out.
Well, there was a long list.
Yeah, and Fonz was there too.
Yeah, it was great to see him on there.
Yeah.
But that was the big takeaway for me, was seeing so many different people and getting their views on live streaming, all that stuff too. So it was definitely a successful.
Now, talking of live streaming and community, Canada Day, you had a very busy day over the weekend.
Oh yeah, but let's get to that in just a second, because I'm seeing Corinder there, and I don't want him to think we're not ignoring you, Corinder. There's a long list of things. He's talking about hockey. The CEO of VMix. What do we want talking about? Oh, Corinder wants to know if you can use. Talking about multiple platform, can you use Restream.io? I use Restream.io for different things. I don't use BeLive, obviously, with you can't, right? So at least I haven't figured out a way. Yeah. And you know what? You know what's funny? If I found a workaround to do that with BeLive, I wouldn't do it because it's against what they're wanting to do. So yeah, I still wouldn't do that. Let's see what else is he looking here. I don't use repurpose.io. I'm not sure why I don't know. What's been your experience with that, Stephen?
Repurpose.io is brilliant, especially if you do 5 shows a week.
Okay.
What it does, it takes the live from Facebook, pushes it over to YouTube with the cover photo, with the description, with the text, with the tags. It does it automatically. You don't need to do anything about it. As soon as you if you were to go to this show afterwards and set up a tag, which you say repurpose, as soon as you're happy with the show, with the text and everything, put the hashtag repurpose in there, which you've set up as a key earlier. And then every time you do that, without doing anything else, as soon as you press save, it's on its way to YouTube. It's also on its way to SoundCloud. It's also on its way to your Google Drive. In fact, it can be going to one of 7 destinations automatically.
Okay, and so obviously, like you said, you're seeing value in that because you do 5 million shows a week, and
correct.
Okay. Oh, here it is. So,
I mean, Repurpose.io was started by Annie Mura, and Annie. On the 15th of October 2016, bit of history here, was talking to Daniel Meyer. And Daniel said to Annie, I've got this new piece of software. Would you like to take a look at it? And Annie said, yes, of course I would. And he was so impressed, he said to Daniel, do you mind if I tell people about it? And lo and behold, on that night, Annie put a post in a live video group, and that was the first we'd ever heard of BeLive.tv. So Annie's claim to fame, besides running repurpose.io, is that he was the one man who introduced Facebook to BeLive.tv and vice versa.
Wow,
so
fantastic.
That's his background.
Right. And the pricing, okay, so starts at $12 a month and $20 a month.
If you $12 a month is sort of one Facebook page. With $20 a month, you can do all your Facebook pages to multiple destinations. $20 a month gives you everything you need to actually do it.
Right.
This might be a good time if you want to try it. I do happen to have an affiliate link. So there is an affiliate scheme here as well.
Oh, okay.
And about 6 weeks ago, they passed the 1,000 user mark, which for a piece of software like this, which has come from nowhere, is a huge number. So if everyone is thinking about it, then do take a look at it.
Okay.
And if you're doing more than one show a week, it's definitely a time saver. Because if you think about it, you download the video from Facebook, you upload it to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You put the title on and the description and the tags and everything, and then you let it loose on YouTube. And that's got to take you half an hour. Now, if you're doing that twice a week, then that's 4 hours a month. Yeah. Yeah. So it pays for itself.
So now this goes to YouTube. Does this thing will it go to things like Twitch or Dailymotion or Vimeo, or is it limited?
It's only dealing with the recording. So this is after the fact.
Okay.
And just let's see. And RJ just made a comment, which is
she uses it and loves it. Right on, RJ. Well, you're looking for something there I can take.
Sorry,
Robert, no, that's okay. Robert's out there, and we'll say hello to Robert. Of course, Corinder, RJ. Who else is out there? Mike Gordon.
Right, Mike Gordon's a friend of mine. I've not seen for quite a long time. A real world friend.
Oh, okay. And Bill Schumann?
No, Bill, no.
Okay.
But Mike, it's good that Mike was around. I think he probably liked it earlier in the day.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Could likely be. Yeah, definitely enjoy it. Okay. So back to, I got to check that out more because I've known about it for a while, and I've just never, I'm always like, well, how much do I use? Like, I upload to YouTube, but that's about it afterwards. Maybe I should be doing more. I don't know. Or all my videos. So you're saying like all my videos, like even so if like when I went live yesterday in Canada Day, if I put a hashtag in there, when it's done, it'll automatically all those videos go to YouTube.
As soon as on an individual basis, you just put the hashtag in, you set it automatic, it will go.
Wow.
Yeah. And just to give you an example, my videos go to Google Drive, Facebook, because you can share it to other Facebook groups, YouTube, SoundCloud, and you can go to other destinations as well. So,
okay.
In fact, what you can do is to take this show and say, right, I want to put this on SoundCloud. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, SoundCloud is podcast only.
Right. It'll convert it?
It converts the creates the MP3 file. And the MP3 file goes to SoundCloud. Yeah. And then you can upload that MP3 to Google Drive as well. And then you can go, RGL like this one, then you can go to, what's the podcast software that RJ and I are using? RJ more than me. Begins with A.
Anchor?
Anchor. Right, you can then upload the MP3 to Anchor.fm and burn iTunes.
And then what? iTunes?
Anchor will then send it to not only Anchor.fm, but it will send it to iTunes. It will send it to every podcast service you can think of.
Oh, wow. So you are really everywhere.
Potentially.
Well, that's interesting because I have had some people, when it comes to my show, say, David, do you have like an audio version of that? Because a lot of times I just listen to you in the background while I'm cleaning the floors or whatever, right? Oh, send me the. You know what, Stephen, put your affiliate link out today at the end of the show, and I'm guessing it's a no commitment thing. So if after a month I didn't like it, I could cancel.
Oh yeah.
$20.
No problem.
I spend that when I go out. Yeah.
Right. RJ's got a comment as well.
Oh, I'm losing track here. See, this is where I could just be like pressing a button and giving you the responsibility.
Just a little, yeah. If Zifra is listening,
just a little bit of prep and all just happens behind the scenes. That's the best explanation I've heard from somebody. So that's like you pretty much just sold me on it. Here's what I found out when I got onto Repurpose. It was with the intention to just porting my Facebook live shows over to YouTube. Now I'm repurposing about 4 or 5 ways. Well, I guess you can never be in too many spots, right?
Well, no.
Too bad you couldn't upload. I'm wondering if this will work with IGTV.
Well, it's to Instagram, and I don't know.
You know about IGTV, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. An hour-long video.
Yeah. Okay. RJ, I'm putting it out there to you, RJ, to find out if we can go to IGTV. Like I just gave somebody homework or something.
Right.
Okay. So yes, Canada Day. What were you asking me?
I'm sorry. Can you explain Canada Day and then go on to talk about your Canada Day?
Yeah. Okay. So Canada Day. So, like the United States has Independence Day, July 4th. Well, our Independence Day is July 1st. Mm-hmm. So we call it Canada Day. And actually, it wasn't always called Canada Day. It wasn't until like 1980 something.
Yeah.
That we started calling it Canada Day. We used to call it Dominion Day.
Ah.
And
right, okay.
Then now there's been talk of them changing again because of political. Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but it's Canada Day right now, and so yeah, we're celebrating our independence. So much like you. So what do you have? What?
We don't have anything because the US celebrates its independence from England.
Right.
And Canada celebrates its independence from England.
Yeah.
We've always been independent.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we have fireworks.
Oh, yeah. So do we. November 5, but not to celebrate independence. It's a very special day.
But what's really great about where I live is we're right on the border. Like, I mean, I've said before, I can go 3 minutes that way, and I'm in the United States once I cross the bridge.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So, and there's a huge river, the St. Clair River, that divides us, and then there's Lake Huron. But the St. Clair River, I can literally stand on one side. I can look over and shout to somebody
on the other bank. Yeah.
On the other side. Yeah. They might not hear me, but you can see the traffic over there. It's very, very close. And so we get to celebrate twice because we had our fireworks yesterday, and then coming up July 4th, we'll all go down and sit on the river and we'll watch them again. Right. So it's like a whole week so Canada Day was yesterday. So what's great about that is everybody, and I don't get this, honestly, as being a former employer, everybody's got to leave early on Friday because it's like Canada Day on Sunday. Whatever. So anyway, everybody leaves work early, much like Christmas, I guess. And because it fell on a Sunday, today is actually a holiday.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay. Yep.
So it was celebrated yesterday, but everybody gets the day off today because you would have had Sunday off anyway. That's whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm actually working on a holiday here today. But it's just fantastic. It was 151 years. Of course, we had a significant celebration last year with the 150 celebration. But I was down there in the 34-degree heat. And, of course, my wife, Jennifer, and Jason had no choice but to join me as well. And we broadcasted the Canada Day parade for our third year in a row. Yeah. And that went really well. Considering the heats, you got to mind the temperature of devices.
Oh, yeah.
We were we had a good plan for that. Jason's he's really good at telling his dad what to do and how we should do things, and so I usually just step back and just go, okay.
Yeah.
So it went really well. We had about 50 floats in the parade.
Brilliant.
Then activities all throughout the park. So I left there, went to my friend's house for about an hour. We went swimming, and went home and changed, and then I had to get Jason back to his mom's, and Jennifer had to run the karaoke that I have every Sunday so that I could be back down at the Centennial Park where the bands were.
Right.
I was the MC for that, but I had to stop at karaoke because I had a couple hours to kill, and I didn't stay very long. I had to get out of there because it was my birthday as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's no secret in this city that I enjoy a black sambuca. So people were, and I'm like, I can't keep doing it. Like, I'm on stage at 6 o'clock. It's 4 right now. Like,
yeah.
have me kid. Anyway, so I got out of there fairly quickly, but it's always great when people, we say birthdays aren't a big deal, but we have to admit, when somebody says happy birthday, it's really nice to hear, right? So, but I had to get out of there pretty quick, or Canada Day could have went bad. And we have so much great local talent here, musically wise.
Oh yeah, I watched a lot of the you were broadcasting from the stage.
Yeah. We're like a hub for musicians here too. It's just a fantastic community for that. And the youth, there was a bit of a gap for a while. We weren't seeing a lot of youth get into music, but in the last few years, I really noticed that change, and they're just amazing talent. This last band that played was a 10-piece band. They're called Yazger's Farm, and there was 5 horns and drums and cymbals, and it was just, it's almost, yeah.
You're taking me back to Woodstock there.
Oh yeah,
that was dangerous.
Totally.
Yazger's Farm.
Yeah. So
now you're talking.
So it was fantastic, and considering the heat, there was still quite a number of people out there. Yeah. So it was fantastic, and I get to do that. Well, I've been emceeing the Canada Day for 7 or 8 years, but it's only been in the last. So that was I just went down there 6 o'clock, did my thing, and that was cool. But then with the parade now, and I've been doing that. So it's everybody says, "Oh, you got to work on your birthday. You should be taking the day off." This is what I do, and it's not work to me. Was it a long day when I got home last night? Good night, Irene. Yes. I didn't even stay for the fireworks because I was done and I had to go. I watched it all on Facebook. But it's fantastic to be able to do what you love and celebrate your birthday with fireworks.
Twice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I said to Jen, because do you care, honey? She goes, I don't care. I said, we'll go watch them Thursday night, right? She goes, yeah. And I don't have to do anything. Just sit there and enjoy. So works out good for me.
And drink sambuca.
I'm sure there'll be some Zambuca involved at some point. It's one of my weaknesses. But it was fantastic. Go ahead. What's that? Brilliant.
No, it's fantastic. I enjoy watching the videos because it's a look at life in Sarnia, and I'd just love to come and visit one day. Who knows?
If you're ever here, man, you will not be bored, especially if you love the music scene, which I know you do. So we'll make sure. It's I have to remember sometimes, and I told myself this yesterday when I was up on stage. Yeah, I'm often given the privilege to be in a unique position where I can be on the stage and I can be that close to the performer. And like Blue Water Border Fest is coming up, and like Honeymoon Suite and the Guess Who are going to be there, and I'll probably be very close to them on the camera. So I stay out of the way. I don't annoy anybody. There's some etiquette involved in doing that, but it's become more accepted to even the larger celebrities. But you have to respect their space. But I'm pretty excited when I get to do that stuff because I'm in a unique position to be able to do that and bring it live to all of you.
Indeed. And it's basically not everybody can be there. So it's a service to the community, and I bow to you, sir, because you're doing a damn good job.
Yeah.
And it's outside the confines. This is not Be Live TV. This is you and your son going out there into the community, mixing with people and broadcasting events which are happening live.
Yeah. I wish I could use Be Live to do that, because then I could share the comments and stuff. But yeah, it's cool.
Right. Okay, now
go ahead.
We gave Corinda a new phrase which you'd not heard of before, LGTV. Not to be confused with any other phrase that begins with LG. IGTV, it is in actual fact. It's just got capital I through me for a moment there. Is Instagram television, Corinda. And Instagram announced last week that you can go live on Instagram and your show can be an hour long. And it won't disappear straight away.
Okay, so say that again.
Your show can be 1 hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it disappears.
But that's a recorded video.
It is recorded video, yeah.
Yeah, IGTV is it's like YouTube. You can record, like when you go live on Instagram. I don't think that goes to Instagram TV.
No, correct. They're two separate services.
Yeah. Okay. I was confused about that in the beginning, because I was looking and going, oh, of course I see opportunity, and I'm like, well, how do I go live and put it there? And no, you have to make your video, recorded video, and then you upload it to IGTV, just like YouTube. And then it's there. The difference, though, and I wasn't sure I liked this in the beginning, but I'm kind of getting it, is vertical video only.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's fine if you're on your own, but it's a bit nasty when you've got 4 people. Well, I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I can't. But from what you've seen so far, what are your thoughts?
From what I've seen so far, it's fine, because when I watch Instagram anyway, it's always been vertical.
Yeah.
You can't do landscape on Instagram. And their thinking behind it, at least based on what I've read, is that Instagram is more from your device. They're not looking to have you do it from their desktop at all, ever. So people they're like, well, people hold their phone vertically, so this way it's just one click and away you go.
Yeah.
And they've narrowed it, like they've prettied it up, I guess, so that it looks nice. And everyone I've seen, I've watched Ross Brand is on there, Jason's friend Alfonso's on there, and everything I've seen looks fine to me. So we'll see how that pans out.
It's somewhere else to go. I mean, we've so many choices, too many choices at times, so many things to do. I mean, we've just been talking a moment about repurpose.io, and I could see the cogs whirring about podcasts. Yeah. So, I mean, once you get that fired up, there's so many possibilities. There really are.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I about the podcast, because like I say, I have been asked many times, I wish you had an audio cat. And I used to do it. I used to take it, but I had to. What did I have to do? Well, when I did my recorded show, I already had it done and edited. It was just automatic. When I was in my editing program, I clicked the button and it turned it into a WAV file for me. It only takes a few seconds, but then I had to upload it, and then I just stopped doing it because it was a pain in the butt. But now for only $20 a month.
Yep.
That's kind of cool to know. But I think Instagram. I keep waiting for an RTMP from Instagram. I don't know if that'll ever happen. Do you think you'd see them doing something like that?
I don't see. From their point of view, I don't see why it's a problem to do it. So I don't think there are any technical problems. It's got to be a corporate reason for doing it, or a marketing reason. I mean, I'm a great believer in systems being open as far as is possible. And RTMP allows everybody to go and broadcast on your site once it's available. So Periscope have got it, Facebook have got it, YouTube have got it.
So what's the problem, Instagram? Hello?
Anybody from Instagram watching? I mean, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I would love to be able to know, because Facebook must know.
Well,
if you could have one set of figures, I know we've got all the metrics and everything, but if you could actually know who's actually watched your show, irrespective of whether they watched it, if you could just have the name of the person who watched it. Yeah,
Steven, now you're getting into privacy issues.
Yes, and totally into privacy issues. I mean, it's Facebook are in fact still updating things.
Oh yeah.
And there was a short period last week when I couldn't go into groups again, but it was Facebook's error. So they're always updating. I mean, privacy is the big issue. I mean, sharing our data, where our data is shared is something we should have total control over in terms of personal data. But it would be nice to know if we could know who's, no nefarious reasons, just to know who's actually watched the show.
Yeah. Well, I can agree with you on that, because I know, again, even walking out in my community, people say, "Oh, I watch your show," and it's people I've known a long time but haven't really heard from in a long time, and I think to myself, you would have been the last person that I would have expected watching my show, right? Yeah. Like, we know the views, we know where it comes from, sort of, right? And but it would be nice to know. And I used to get, when I did karaoke for so many years, I knew who my audience was.
You could look,
because I saw them sitting there.
Yeah.
And I created honestly, to put it into perspective, I had created my own analytics in my head just by looking around the room. I could say, okay, well, that one's here 2 or 3 times a week, and she's here every night, and this one's single, and this one's not, and like, those were all analytics, right? And they had an effect on what I did in karaoke. But I saw them.
That's right. You can be guided because the people are there in front of you, and you get, as you say, you get to know them. And my random thought of the day is just to get to know who's actually watching the shows. Well,
and that'll help with your content.
Oh, true. It helps guide your content, because if you've got, suppose for argument's sake, you had 5 shows a week, and people are coming to watch the Tuesday show, and you then decide, or the Wednesday show, even more to point, then you'd know who's actually interested in messenger bots. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Not who's commenting about messenger bots, but who's interested in messenger bots. So then you can turn it to suit your audience. If you find somebody in there who could, well, it's a marketer's dream. It's not going to happen because it would be a marketer's dream come true. But there you go.
RJ was saying in there as well. What's she referring to? It doesn't yet, but I bet some over-caffeinated programmers are working on it as we speak. Yeah, I'm guessing she's talking about the RTMP. Yeah. What do you know about? So I'm just Googling here because I've been enjoying sharing my desktop screen because I don't use it that often.
Okay, go.
Facebook announces transparency updates to ads 4 days ago. Have you heard of that?
It's one of those things that sort of flew past because I don't do ads. So, have you looked into it?
No.
I mean, basically, yeah. I don't know what effect it has. So we'll do some research for next week, and we'll come to tell you all about the changes to Facebook ads.
Yeah, Stephen can do the research. I'll just let him do it.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm researching Remix. Thank you.
Okay, fine. All right. Yeah. I'm looking here too. Top Facebook updates that you can't afford to miss. Now, here's a topic and I think I would love RJ to join us on this one. It doesn't have to be today, but I think this is a topic for the future. So let me read this. I'll show, actually.
Yep. Okay, go for it.
Use the features of Beeline to your advantage. Okay, we're going to go full screen here for a moment.
All right.
Okay. Top Facebook updates that you can't afford to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Top Facebook updates that you can't afford to miss. Now, when you read that, Stephen,
yep,
what do you hear? in that title? What does that title say to you?
That if you don't read this, you'll be losing out.
Right. And then moving beyond that, what it says to me is I'm an advertisement. That's what that title says to me.
Yeah.
Because it is. I mean, it's Ad Espresso by Hootsuite. So it's one of those, read this, and then click here, and it'll take you to, and then eventually you will find an affiliate link that says to buy something or whatever. Okay. Top Facebook updates that you can't afford to miss. How do you feel about those kind of things?
I hate clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. We can't stop it. But I mean, there are always going to be marketers trying to find ways around and ways of getting our attention. Right, okay. And RJ has got 2 relevant comments.
Yeah. FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there's a new one. Well, I see F and then I think anyway. That's just
when I say it's quite clean. It just means fear of missing out.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. It does scream advertisement. And you know what? I'm okay with the advertisements. I mean, I get it. We all want to sell our stuff. But yeah, the inexperienced internet person wouldn't, they go, oh, wow. Yeah. Fear of missing out. I better read that. And it almost looks like it was something that came from Facebook because when I Googled Facebook updates.
Yep.
And it's the very, very first one that showed up. So it was obviously a paid ad, but it doesn't say that's an ad.
Indeed.
Yeah. Interesting. More topics coming soon to a theater near you. Totally. Do you go out and watch movies?
No, Netflix is the staple. Yourself?
Jennifer, yeah, we like a good movie, but we watch it at home because we got it all here. But there's something to be said about going out to a movie. Jennifer likes it because it's a date, right? So we do that. If you're on Netflix, I will promo our local friends here, Preferred Towing. They are on Heavy Rescue 401. It is now season 3 will be here in January, and I can officially announce that my son Jason and I are in one of the episodes. And but their Heavy Rescue 401 season 2 is now available on Netflix. So if you're looking for something exciting, Heavy Rescue 401, Gary and Tammy Van Heuvel. I was actually their first tow truck driver full time when they started 26 years ago, and I worked for them for about 3 years, and we've stayed in touch ever since. They were the ones that actually encouraged me to go do what I love, which was entertainment, and I ended up doing karaoke, and now they're just fantastic people, and I'm excited for their success as well. So now Jason and I are in one. I can't tell you about it, but I mean, I don't even know. We might be I'm talking maybe a 10-second appearance. Okay. So don't get too
cameo.
Don't be asking for autographs or anything, Steve.
A cameo experience. On Saturday night, we have a local theatre company.
Okay.
Called the Invitation Theatre Company, which it shortens to, we're into abbreviations today, TITCO, TITCO, the Invitation Theatre Company. And they put on 2 or 3 productions a year. And one of this year's productions was Queen.
Oh.
And for an hour and a half, the entire cast were involved in recreating a fantastic back catalogue of Queen live on stage, with several of the actors taking lead, with a 40-piece orchestra and 4 guitarists.
Wow.
Now, one of the lead guitarist is Angelica's son, Martin. So shout out to Martin. But the whole the room was packed. This is our sort of theatre in Devizes was packed, and a good time was had by all. Fantastic show. 90 minutes of Queen music. Can't beat it. And that was followed up on Sunday by a visit to Stonehenge, which is also a good place to be. Which brings us up to the hour, so I'm going to be quiet now.
Well, we got to show them off a bit. So they are the Invitation Theatre Company. Meet the cast.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Wow. Look at all this. Say.
Yeah, I mean they as I say, pick 2 or 3 productions a year. They've done Pirates of Penzance. They've done. Oh, I'm going to get. If you give me advance notice, but that's the one. That's the one I went to see, Queen.
Yeah.
The Corn Exchange Devisers. And it was a fantastic night. They did a shows on Friday and Saturday. And if you go to past performances there, David, just below the picture, there's a banner which said past performances. There you go. What can you? Is
that what you're looking for?
It's okay. Past performances, shows they've done previously. Yeah, Pirates of Penzance. Yeah, all those performances over the years, and we've seen about the last 6. It's a great night out in town by local people, and it's just fantastic.
That's theater's wonderful. We've got quite a theater here, the Imperial Theater and the Victoria Playhouse in Petrolia, and they're both very, very talented. And I see, like, they've done Jesus Christ Superstar, some Queen. There's a Queen movie coming out, isn't there?
There could well be. They've also done World of the Wars. War of the Worlds, even.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was a superb production.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So shout out to local theatre companies in both Sarnia and Devisers.
Yeah, Queen Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. May. That doesn't say when. Anyway, yeah. How did that happen? It's 1:02, Stephen. You talk a lot.
I know. Wow.
Well, one of the things I love about you and I is how we do. I'm not going to lie, folks. No agenda here. We just talk about. Okay, I was thinking of taking this here and there, and and we don't always tell each other everything.
No,
we just do it.
Indeed, just the best way.
Well, it's been fantastic. Quick final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Enjoy the week on live video. Please visit the TVSN page and the live video hub and promote, if you can, everybody who appears on both of those Facebook channels. Have a great week, and see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Stephen. And for those of you watching, once again, this is broadcasting to your community, to all of your communities, because we're like all over the world now with this, and that's fantastic. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go play around with repurpose.io.
I'll get you the link.
Thanks.
That's the next thing I'm going to do.
Send it to me in Messenger, buddy. RJ, Corinder, and anybody else who is watching, thank you so much. I will be live later on this afternoon on the show, Sarnia page. I will have 3 guests, Corey James Mitchell, who's going to be performing, and some more music talents, and it's going to be a great show. That's 3:30 Eastern this afternoon. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.